Do you think America is the best country in the world? Sadly, the answer to that question, rather, no longer seems to be as obvious as it used to be. A new poll reveals a deep division among party lines. According to the latest New York Times Siena College National Survey, only a little more than a third of Democrats surveyed, 37% to be precise, believe the U.S. is the greatest, while 69% of Republicans feel that way. Kennedy, I think that's a very sad indictment of something I was taught growing up, American exceptionalism. We're the greatest country on earth. These used to be just unifying phrases of pride for our nation.
Yeah, and for those of us who were first-generation Americans, that was really imbued in us by our parents and grandparents that, you know, this is a place where people can work hard, reinvent themselves. My grandparents sent all four of their kids to college. 3 of them got master's degrees. You know, it's a really impressive thing. And so I challenge people who say it's not. Like, I love travel. I love going to other places. I love learning about new cultures. I think that's really important. It makes us better people. But there's nowhere I've been where I want to live other than the United States, because we can have conversations about what's wrong here and we can work together to make them better. You know, yes, we have some problems right now, but show me where else is superior. It's not Australia.
Nowhere.
Not after the lockdown.
Jared, you've been to a lot of places. You've traveled the world. We live in a rather exceptional country.
Yeah, well, look, that's one of the great experiences of being in government is you get to travel all over the world. You see how amazing our private sector is, how amazing our country is. We have natural resources if we would allow ourselves to fully utilize them. We have the Atlantic Ocean, we have the Pacific Ocean, which keeps us, you know, safe from a lot of threats. So it really is an incredible country. And, you know, one of the things that I find when looking at this statistic is I find that the Democrat foreign policy is much more about lecturing other countries, whereas our foreign policy on the Republican Party and under President Trump was really about focusing on our common interests. And it's funny how they don't think that we're an exceptional country, but yet they're lecturing everyone else to try to be like us. And so there's a lot of, I think, disconnect in the way that they feel. And it really is a wrong feeling. I think that's part of why maybe we need to be teaching better things in our schools. We need to be, you know, helping people understand what our country's about. And I think that what makes America really special is that everyone can have the opportunity to achieve incredible things here.
Yeah, no doubt. Harris, I was a little dismayed, not just the Democrat number, which is low, but it was only 69% of Republicans who said America was great and 47% of independents. I mean, I wish it was across the board, 80, 90% all parties.
You know, we do have to take into account that this is a window into this moment, and this moment has a lot of problems. This moment has inflation that we haven't seen cook like this in our generation. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, so a lot of this is the right now feel. The challenge is going to be who is willing to step up and change all of that. Before we go on, can I just cede a little of my time to you? The Abraham Accords. Mm-hmm. I know you work so mightily on that, and you talk about a country with greatness. You represented us through those processes, and Israel and other countries now have relationships that they didn't have before.
Thank you. Well, thank you for acknowledging it and for all your support while we were going through. For 3 years, we had the entire media telling us that we were doing it the wrong way. We would never achieve peace. We had to do it like the people before us who had all failed in trying to achieve it. And what we were able to accomplish was to get a breakthrough in the Middle East between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, and then Bahrain, and then Sudan, Kosovo, Morocco, where they were able to create relations and focus on how do we focus on the future, create opportunities economically, how do we work together on the pandemic and a lot of different opportunities, and most importantly, security and defense. And so bringing the Jews and the Muslims together is something that's very, very important to do. And if you think about the post-World War II era, it really kind of pushed people apart. So it's the beginning of the end of the Arab-Israeli conflict. It's changing the world. It's bringing a lot of peacefulness. And it's something that even despite the Biden administration not being willing to call it by its name for the first year, it's been totally thriving and enduring since. So it's been amazing. And again, an accomplishment that only could have happened by an outsider president with an unconventional team doing things in unconventional ways. And that's really what I wrote about a lot of my book, was how that happened and why it occurred.
And representing a great country.
And a great advisor in Jared Kushner and Avi Berkowitz and your team, who did great work.
Thank you. And if we weren't representing America, we would not have been able to get it done. It was the power of representing a country that was a superpower, that they respected, that they wanted to help them solve their problems amongst each other, which did contribute to it as well.
And Emily, that's key. You know, at the heart of this breakthrough deal was America, the greatest country on earth. You know, a country that used to be bound together by national symbols like our flag, which now you have Macy Gray calling it tattered, divisive, incorrect. We have to have these unifying symbols. I would love to see the parties get on some planet Earth of rationale together where we can together solve problems on the world stage like the Arab-Israeli crisis.
Yeah, that's right. And just sort of melding your two comments, you know, the family history of those of us who, all of us who immigrated here, most of us, you know, my family fled true starvation and true corruption to an unbearable extent to come to this country because this was a country of opportunity and abundance. And the notion that the Democrats are putting forth of that there's, you know, scarcity and that there isn't diversity, that there isn't opportunity here, shaming the American flag, shaming what unites us is so heartbreaking for me because my grandfather, as I've said before, you know, framed his United States citizenship on his wall. He renounced his Italian citizenship to do so proudly. And in that time, he was able, you know, he worked in a factory, he was a fisherman until the tuna dried up, and then he started his own business. And then cut to, you know, my dad's generation where running a business here is so difficult because of the overregulation of California and the way that liberals run it. But that doesn't shy us away as patriots and as Americans. We are proud of our country. We're proud of our history and the reasons we came here. We thrive here. And it's beautiful to me as an American citizen that that is a symbolism that helped achieve peace on the world stage. It's really gratifying.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.